Hey guys, it's Krystal Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Moore. This is Realtor Life, a fun and entertaining look at life in the trenches as a real estate professional or entrepreneur in Ontario. And guys, I am pumped. Today we have the pleasure of talking with Lina Manuel Merchant, who is a fellow realtor, but also embarking on the most exciting job, which is the Director of Sales and Marketing for the new Hard Rock Hotel in London. Yay! Welcome, Lena.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're so excited. You might
Oh,
be the biggest groupie yet.
I'm all over the hard. Yeah, Hard Rock is my jam. Travel all over the world. I have been known to pay crazy amounts, especially in Asia for pins. But so excited that this excited, like just beyond my excitement for London, having this opportunity to have the first Hard Rock Hotel in Canada. So let's put that on the shelf for 1 second, though. Lena, tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you even became a realtor before you got this awesome, exciting opportunity.
Well, thank you so much. It was nice to see you earlier today and nice to chat
Yes.
with you now. So yeah, I've been in sales my whole entire life, ever since I was 13 years old. It was a natural fit for me. And it was funny because my dad would always, my first retail, or I should say sales position was when I was 13, was really working for a magazine company on like Richmond Row, McLean's magazines. And I used to just like talk really fast and just, I was really the highest performer, sales person there. And it just came naturally. And then I went into the fashion industry, retail sales. And then, over the years, I thought that this was in my blood. I started in the hospitality industry, I would say 26 years ago. But 13 years ago was when I really started in the real estate market. And because my brother is actually the broker of record, and he owns for the last 40 years General Realty. And,
Nice.
he's expanded and kind of uh, reached out to, different areas and so forth. He always said to me, I know I'm good, but you're better. And you really need to, be in and help me and develop and grow and so forth. And so 13 years ago, I decided to take that mark and knowing that it's going to be a lifetime career for me. And eventually that's what I want to do full
Amazing.
time.
So good.
And yeah, and I love real estate. I absolutely love dealing with the hustle and bustle of, investing and dealing with residential and even commercial. I've
Yeah.
been dealing with both, and it's been amazing.
So
Um,
good.
there was reasons why I've never done it full time, and we can get into that a little bit later. But
Yeah.
I've always been one of those girls that hustles. So I've always, ever since I was 13, I've always had two careers. And,
Yeah.
it's just the way I am and the way I work 7 days a week, and I love every single bit of it.
It's, you know what, we talk about it all the time with friends and other guests, and it takes a special person to do what we do. And it is I find it's and all the power to everyone with a regular 9 to 5. Like at 5 o'clock, you shut her down and you just chill. I,
That
I
would be a
think
dream.
and I think, you know what, we say that, and then you'd be like, okay, you should probably start something new.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's so cool though. And so, and you've always been in London doing real estate.
Yes. So I've been in London for probably 45 years, and I moved away for 5 years during my first marriage. I went to Winnipeg, Manitoba, and then that's where I started the hospitality industry. And then when I moved back 13 years ago was when I
Yeah.
decided to go out and really do the real estate. And
Yeah.
I have not regretted it once. It's been amazing, and I absolutely love it.
Now, would you say so I've been in real estate for 15 years, but probably 13 full time. And in different markets, as people know, I kind of had to start over 3 times. In Ottawa as a new realtor, Guelph as a brand new to the community, and then London brand new to the community. But I find, and I would love to hear your thoughts, that because it was like, I'd say the last like 13 years, it's been kind of normal market, low market, high market, low market, and then crazy COVID. But it, because you had the experience before, coming out of COVID wasn't as hard. Like I
That's
find a
right.
lot of, right? Like a lot of the newer realtors that were just kind of like, oh my gosh, real estate's so easy. I just put up a sign and people just flock to the house. And that's not what it's supposed to be like. And that's not what it's like anymore.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it was easier when you had listings. It was a lot harder when you were representing the buyer
Oh yes.
because you put in 10 offers and it would get rejected and you'd have to work as, 10 times harder.
Oh,
So
and
it's
those phone
definitely,
calls, the sad
that
calls.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was not easy at all. So I would say, I've gone through the COVID, yes. To be honest, that was very, very strange for me because that was also when the hospitality business went down.
Yeah.
And, I had a team of 8 and everybody got furloughed. And then I was the only one doing everything and we were closed. But then I was dealing with everything to do with dealing with the crying brides and cancellations of meetings and events and marketing and budgets and so forth. And so my life, I had no life during COVID, where a lot of people were at home and, getting a paycheck through the government. I was making cents on that dollar. I was
Yeah.
not doing well at all, but it is what it is. I was fortunate to still have my job, so I'm not going to
Yes.
complain, but it was definitely hard. And
It's,
then
yeah.
because of that, I actually did very little during COVID in real estate.
Okay.
So I did have some buyers, and again, nothing, didn't really pan out. And yes, so I mean, there's ups and downs and goods and bads, and you just
Yeah.
gotta deal with it.
For sure. And I think what's nice though, especially if someone that knows the city so well, um, getting into real estate sounds like a natural thing to do if you love sales, you love people, and you love the community, right? Which leads me to the very next step. So this morning was able to, Lena and I have spoken, because we're in the same London community, we've spoken about real estate before. And I reached out when I found out about her new position at the Hard Rock Hotel in London because I was dying for a tour. And I wanted to meet her in person. And I wanted you guys to be able to hear from her on this podcast because you're a go-getter, Lena. So tell us how this all came together. So the hotel, by the way, guys, stay tuned for when it opens in April
In April,
because
yes.
it will knock your socks off. It's beautiful. Like I live 10 minutes from there and we will be staying there.
If
So
you're
how did this happen?
Yeah. Well, how it happened. So I mentioned to you, I got into real estate because, my family are entrepreneurs. We've been in London, we've owned businesses and so forth, and my brother's a broker. So I started doing that. But I also started in the hospitality industry because at the time, I would say 26, 27 years ago, my family owned a venue. At the time, it was the Downtown Trade Center. Uh,
Okay.
uh, and I moved to Winnipeg, like I mentioned, for 5 years and started in kind of my career there. And when I moved back to London in 2004, I started working shortly after going back from mat leave at the Ivy Spencer Leadership Center for 18 years. And
Amazing.
I have been offered many jobs to leave Ivy Spencer to start somewhere fresh and new. And I was just not going to jump ship for anybody, just starting all over in seniority. I thought I would retire there. And then it just came knocking on my door, really, the Hard Rock Hotel. And I thought, you know what, I'm jumping ship. This is an amazing opportunity. My
Yeah.
family's in the music industry as well, the London Music Hall. My brother owns that. And I thought, you know what, this is perfect.
Hmm.
And so, although I've always was planning on leaving the hospitality industry and doing real estate full time,
Yeah.
when this came knocking, I went running and I was like, this
Yes.
is it. So I'm going to finish my career doing that. And then, of
Yeah.
course, keep the love of real estate always,
Yes.
for weeknights and weekdays. So I'm not going to give that up. Like I said, I do enjoy it. I have a great amount of respect for my clients that keep coming back to me and referrals and so forth. So I do love that. But the hospitality industry is almost like real estate. You're just selling a different type of
Yep.
real estate, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely. And that's, I think the thing is a lot of people, so we talk about real estate being a second career or third career. I got started, I was a cosmetics girl at Shoppers Drug Mart all through school. And that, so I love open houses because that's my jam. People come to me, they're excited, we chat, we bond. And that's, I think it is a natural type of thing where people, you already know how to treat people well, and that's it's all about the experience, right? So I mean, what a great role for you. um and we're so excited. What I would say, what you touched on, and I think this is important for anyone in real estate. So referrals are a big deal. So we have referrals, like our clients refer other clients to us, which is huge, and that's important.
yeah,
Real estate, though, is one of the only businesses where if you actually get paid for your relationship, and it's a huge deal. So even if someone, like if you're considering a kind of a second job or something that you're looking for, and you're like, what will I do if I don't have time for all these clients? A great problem to have, by the way. You can refer them to colleagues, and there's no standard, but what a lot of us do, it's 25%. So I remember back in the day, I was the chair of the global committee for the Canadian Real Estate Association, and we would really lean in heavily on explaining to people, hey, like there's referrals to be had, like especially out of town, especially out of country, like get those relationships going. So you'll probably make lots of great relationships with people in other countries and other cities.
yeah. And it's funny you say that because I just hired this will be our second sales representative for my Realty Select here in London. She's also going into real estate. She's just finished her exams. She's passed. She's very pumped. She's a hustler like me, so she's
Nice.
excited. And it's so great to be able to have somebody else in London that I can pass on my referrals to and
Oh,
keep it
yes.
in the brokerage.
Yeah.
And she's a single mom like me as well, originally, where we needed those two jobs to be able to keep our lifestyle.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that saying, working for a Birkin, right? Like I want that Gucci and those high-end stuff. So we just keep
Yeah.
working and working, and whatever it takes. I always try to say that you got to look good and you got to look the part. And I do have I do love my fashion. So,
Yes.
that she's joining me, actually, she's just signing the contract today. I look
Amazing.
forward to kind of, growing the team of my Realty Select
Yes.
and also just sending her some referrals when I'm not able to
100%.
do everything myself.
Do you know, and that's, I think, one thing that, so on the one hand, especially if you're a hustler like you, and I'm the same, we're in this like, it's almost like you wear a badge of pride if you're so busy, so busy. But the thing is, we also are more prone to burnout. And right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so I have a teammate, and I'm so grateful because I was able to go away with my family last week, as you know, and I couldn't have done it if Mina wasn't here, kind
Yeah.
of holding the fort. And I do the same thing for her when she's away. Um, and it's so important because the thing is we can hustle and we don't stop. We're not
It's
like,
hard to
oh,
say no, right? I have a hard time saying no. I'm too busy.
it is hard. It is hard
Yeah.
to say no. At the same time, if we can spread it around, because
Yeah.
what I'm always conscious of is if you ever do get to a burnout, then you don't get to decide if you're saying no. You're just out for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That's my fear.
Uh,
So vacation, and and it depends on how you rely. Like if your thing is that you love high-end fashion and that's what you want to work towards, then that's going to be the thing you're working towards. For me, I love vacation. So that's what I work toward.
yeah.
And right, you need that
Yeah.
something that's pushing you.
Well, I agree, but I have to say, let me just go back a little bit.
Okay.
I do love
Okay.
it. And I'm a brand baby. I love it. That being said, I was for a very long time, out of those 13 years, I was a single mother for 8.
Oh
And
wow.
had to
That's hard.
really work hard in order to support the lifestyle my children and I were used to. The house was
Yep.
my responsibility. So out of those 13 years, I joke and say I love my brands and so forth, but really I was working just hard to
Yeah.
make sure that I gave the lifestyle that my children were accustomed to when it comes to sporting events
Yep.
and vacations. You're right.
Yep.
But it wasn't easy. I had to put
No,
that food on the table. And,
100%.
ironically enough, Laura Bartel, my new sales representative for My Realty Select, she's also a single mother as well. She has three girls on her own doing it all. And I love that because we're
Oh,
hungry.
do you know what? 100%. I was raised by a single mother, and it is, I'm not going to say a thankless job because there's a lot of thank yous, but probably not nearly, there aren't enough thank yous in the world to ever come close to like you're everything to the kids, right?
Absolutely.
And there's even to this day, like before we take off, when we get back, I always have to send my mom all of my flight info.
Yeah.
She doesn't sleep well until she knows we've landed. And it is, and this is like 44 years later, right? So like it doesn't end. And for on behalf of all the children, of all the single mothers, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I mean, so, we talk about how the two lifestyles kind of merge, and I do find that it is a natural merge between the hospitality industry
Oh, yes.
and the real estate world. Both, I grew up with, again, like I mentioned, my brother was the broker of record, and my other family is in the music industry. And so I get as equally excited on both.
Yeah.
And I really love for them to come together. And the
And
net,
then they did.
what's that?
And then they
Did.
did come together in the
They
Hard
did
Rock
come
Hotel.
together. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's the networking too.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just, I sometimes I thrive. Like I absolutely love the interaction with people and networking in the evenings when it comes to the hospitality and then the real
Yeah.
estate and so forth. And it's incredible how many people that I've connected with real estate
Yeah.
that actually know me through the hospitality world.
Yep.
Open houses, I get, people that I work with, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you were there. And then vice versa. It's actually quite a small world. London is a
It,
small world.
I was gonna say London is the perfect, it's not, you don't feel like you're in a fishbowl. There's enough space,
Like,
there's enough people, but the connections are so strong. It has that small town vibe when it comes to just being able to know people,
yeah,
right? And it's those relationships. And so if you're ever wondering, like, should I go networking? Should I waste my time on blah blah blah? Yes.
yeah,
Make
for
the relationships because it might not turn into business today, but it doesn't have to, right?
I
It's saying,
agree.
hey, like we've built this bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and here I am today. So I'm kind of at the point where I'm putting in every single ounce that I have in me to be, my family first comes first, of course.
Yeah.
But I love both of the careers that I have, and I absolutely mix them together all the time. And just like you and I today,
Yeah.
meeting, the hospitality world meets real estate. And
Yes.
again, where I am at 100 Kellogg's, right? So opportunities for tenants to come in, and
Yep.
I'm constantly sending my own clients, the commercial clients in here as well for space and just
Yep.
showing what's available.
We just
And
talked about that for my client. Yeah. And that's so cool. And it's such a vibe.
it
Um,
is,
so the other thing I was going to say, so you touched on it briefly, but one of the things that you brought to your real estate career and where we talk about like real estate is one of those careers when you go into it, it's not new. You're bringing all of the experience you have. So you shared with me a really cool video of one of your open houses because of your background in fashion.
right.
Do you want to
Yeah.
share a little bit about kind of your passion for making things look pretty?
Well, I mean, I love things packaging, right? Like
Yeah.
I love putting on events. So when you do, this is actually funny that you say that because when I first did my first open house, it was like you walking into a hotel because everything was the hospitality service, the coffee, the snacks. And I know that everybody does that, but people would walk
They
away and
do
go,
not.
they
Everybody
do
does not
not.
do
Okay.
that. No.
Well, all I know is that that's all I know. And I
Yeah.
remember people, guests, clients and visitors that are walking into the open houses are like, thank you for your hospitality. And I'm just like, they match, right? Like that's where I kind of get my
Yes.
service
Yeah.
experience. And that to me, it's all about customer service.
Yes.
And so with the natural fit. And yeah, we talked about the video. I mean, so yeah, it's kind of
But
that
you
was
have fun with it.
I did have fun with it.
And
It
you know
was
what? When people, so again, like for the people that are listening, we have entrepreneurs and realtors. It's not just about like we're talking about an open house, but it's whatever you do, whether someone's walking into your space, whether you're going into a meeting, make them feel amazing, make them feel like a VIP. What is the downside? Like
absolutely, yeah. And
100%.
those are the things that I kind of bring in. So anytime that I think of having an event at the hotel that I represent or an open house that I represent,
Yeah.
it's the same vibe. Everything is,
Yeah.
the theme to, if it's Canada Day weekend or if it's Mother's Day weekend or if it's Barbie theme,
Yeah.
whatever it is, I always put in 150% to kind of make it that little extra special.
Yes.
And that's kind of my niche. That's,
I
what I
love
do
that.
best, and I really do enjoy that. So, you
So,
know,
yeah.
I absolutely think it's not, what it's who you know, but it's also how you represent yourself.
100%. I'd like to say I love, so in the tour this morning, Lina she's glowing and for a good reason. This hotel is like next level. So if you're listening and you're in London, come to the hotel. If you're listening and you're not in London, come to the hotel. Like is gorgeous. Now you were telling us about the big guitar out front. So Hard
Yeah.
Rock Hotel, obviously there's a guitar. Tell us more about the guitar.
Oh, well, the guitar is pretty amazing. So locally made. So, the Hard Rock Hotel, and I just want to say this, I watch social media very closely, and there's a lot of people like, oh, it's a US brand or whatever it is. It is a brand that is international, yes, but it is locally owned in everything that we do. We keep it as locally as possible. For example, the guitar was made by a company that was down the street here on Dundas Street, and they did such an amazing job. It's 32 feet tall,
So
over
nice.
12,000 pounds, all of metal and steel. So
It's
again,
so nice.
it's so different. It's not the typical guitar that you would normally get. It's a very unique
Yeah.
uh, hard rock brand because we are in the 100 Kellogg building. There's
Yes.
a lot of history here. We've been over 100 years old. The owners are local,
Yeah.
and they put in over $100 million to make this hotel as beautiful as it is.
Oh,
And
it
every single employee that we've hired to be part of the band is either really from London or was from London and moved away for a short period of time and then came back because of the Hard Rock brand. So
by
this
the
is
way,
good for
just for
London. It's
anyone
good.
for the non-hard rock lifers, the band is the staff.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. So a couple of things. So let's say you want to go to the hotel, but you aren't going to stay there yet. You have there's restaurants, you have meeting rooms. Um, you should stay because there's the nicest pool ever that goes inside and outside. But best of all, let's say the weather is being horrible like it was for the last 2 weeks. You don't have to go outside.
That's right. Yeah. So we do have an indoor outdoor pool, which is so nice. So the complex itself is over 1 million square feet. And it really is your urban resort,
Yeah.
right? That's something that's very unique. We are not the CN Towers, and we're not the Niagara Falls. We have something a little bit more different. And so this is actually a perfect fit for families that are coming to London as
Yeah.
well, because it's a place that they could have and stay while their house is either getting renovated, or if it's getting, in between sales, or they're moving and they're doing, viewing showings or what have you. It's
Yeah,
the perfect place to bring your family and being able to not feel stuck in a small little hotel, and be able to
exactly.
not send the children out there to hang out. I mean, there's the factory, there is the children's museum, there's, like three restaurants, not including the Powerhouse,
Yeah.
just in Kellogg's. And then the Hard Rock has another three restaurants, not including the pool service.
Oh,
So
so
there's so
excited.
much to do. And
Yes.
this is like I was saying earlier, it's not just amazing for London, it's really amazing for Canada.
Yes, absolutely it is. And I think especially for people that are looking to support local, like what a great vibe, right? So you come to London, Ontario. Not only do
Yes.
we have, so you have this complex with so many cool things because 100 Kellogg also has spring markets and it has Christmas markets. And there's always, I feel like there's always something going on, whether
Something,
it's right,
right?
like music, or we were just at a Super Bowl party at the clubhouse. It really is a great place to be. And it's just the people are so like, I don't know how you guys have managed, and you guys, plural, everyone at 100 Kellogg and Hard Rock, even today, huge smiles. Like, I don't think we ran into one person who was in a bad mood today. And you don't see
There's a
that.
buzz in the air, and we're all
Yeah.
excited. And
Yeah.
to be able to be part of this project, the dream came to life. So the owners put this vision together, and no one ever thought it would come true. And it's actually coming true. And we're going to be able to showcase it to the world.
Oh,
I have people from all over the world contacting me to want to be from China. They literally are so pumped, and they're like, we normally take our groups, our FIT, which is a foreign travel, to Toronto. Now we want to come to London,
amazing.
and be part of the Hard Rock family. And I mean, it's amazing. So we definitely make a dent, and we're putting London, it's always been on the map, but now we're making a bigger impact. And everybody, from city officials, the mayor,
Yeah.
the public, the community, is very excited. And we're look what's happening to Dundas East, right? Like everybody had that horrible vision of what this area was, and we're making an impact, we're changing it.
Yeah.
And owners and everybody here is very excited to do that. And that's going to really help the whole market.
Oh, absolutely. And it's what's nice. So, my husband Brett was with us today for the tour, and we were just mentioning. So we've been spending a lot more time at 100 Kellogg because we are part of a running group at the Run Parlor. And just to be in that space, to see all the restaurants, to see all like not just driving by, but to actually walk around the area, it's a different feeling than it was like even 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And it's just so good.
It's so good for the city of London not to think
Yes.
of London East as, of a rundown. Now, everybody's very excited to say that, real estate is going to go up here, and everybody's excited about that.
Yeah.
But it already has gone up. So it,
Yeah.
it really looks amazing. Like I've been coming here since I've been, you know, um, with the Hard Rock for just over 3 months, and I love it. It's
Okay.
amazing, and it's so close to everything too, right? Like the airport downtown. I come from Lambeth. It's taken me less time to come from my house than it did when I used to work, at the university. So
It's
it's
actually, yeah, it's really nice. We're 10 minutes away too. And it's, I mean, and there's a lot of stuff in London, in North London, and it's great, but it's really nice that the South and the East are getting more.
yes.
Um, Now how can people, so I mentioned, I touched briefly on the fact that you have some meeting rooms and things like that. How can people, if they wanted to book something, um, book a meeting, come for lunch, book rooms, how does that all work?
So, so in regards to the meetings, we're actually partnering with 100 Kellogg's for anything that's larger than 20, because
Okay.
we have so much space. Again, we're 1 million square feet,
Yep.
and they have up to 1,000 people, industrial space, and the event space that's to be rented. And then we can accommodate the food and beverage, and we can accommodate the guest rooms component.
Right.
So I have a team that does all the sales. So you would contact me at sales@hrhlondonontario.com, and then I will absolutely get back to you with prices and
Perfect.
rates, and then connect you to Kellogg's team if you're looking for something larger than what we could accommodate.
But smaller than 20, there are a couple rooms.
Yes, yeah, we do
Wonderful.
have that. And then also you can do buyout. So you can buy out the hotel, you can buy out the restaurants. We have 3 restaurants, like I mentioned earlier, that you can book as well.
Amazing. So I just
And
need a few more referrals, guys. Send a few referrals to
yeah.
Krystal Lee Moore, and I will be buying out the hotel.
But you know what? It's great for families, like,
It
all
is.
the salespeople that are dealing
Oh
with,
yeah.
out of towners and so forth, or even just in between, transactions. We absolutely would love to be able to help you.
It's actually funny. So, Brett mentioned on our tour, so some of the rooms are really cool. They have like a bunk bed situation for
Yeah,
kids. And he mentioned it had like this cool, almost like a fusion vibe of Hard Rock Hotel meets London meets Great Wolf Lodge. So just like,
yeah,
right? So like, but here without having to drive 2 hours away.
right.
And it was so cool because you don't like so often kids just kind of they just figure it out. They have a regular bed and it looked like a little fort, right? So
Yeah,
like you have a space, you have a safe bed, which actually like you can't roll out, which is nice. Um, and then the rooms though, like the rooms are just so gorgeous. And it was like obviously so much care was taken into creating that vibe.
design work was, there was no expense spared. So in total, there's 164 rooms. That's phase one. Phase two will add another 189 with a spa and more meeting rooms.
Very
But
nice.
phase one, we've got 19 different room types. We can accommodate up to 6 people in one room. And then there's rooms that are attached as well. So you can
So
rent
good.
rooms and have, a women's retreat, and you can do a guy.
Yes.
We're doing golf retreats right now. We've booked them for June and July and September.
Wow. Okay. So
Absolutely.
good. So
So,
good.
you know,
Um,
definitely keep it in London.
yes, for sure. Well, and then they have the gym is gorgeous
Yes, the gym. Yeah.
and the pool. So it's really like even if you are in London and you just want like a staycation retreat, like let just take a weekend and go by yourself, bring a girlfriend, or if it's a guy, bring the guys or a couple, like whatever. I am so pumped about this. And I'm so happy. Yeah, you're pumped. Like we're all just yay.
But it's really great because we've also opened it up to the community. You don't even have to stay to come and enjoy our retail and food and beverage outlets. So
Amazing.
we've got 3 restaurants, like I mentioned, that you can come, and it's open to the community. We have live
So good.
music every single night in one of the outlets, and it's just a great place to come and hang out.
Yes, and the rock shop will be open soon.
Yes, yes, I know you'll be our best customer.
Oh, I will. I will, guys. Yeah, I'm so excited to add the pin to my pin collection. Um, and I think ultimately, like the idea, I guess the last question I'm going to ask you. So you talked about working a lot and hustling. How do you make sure that you're taking downtime? Like, where's the balance for you so you don't end up burning out?
So I love my vacations as well. And I find, well, first when I do my vacations, that is truly, truly when I do escape. Now, yes, I always have my phone. I'm always available, but that, yeah, that is always a place that I would say is my little getaway.
Good.
And I do them maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So I feel like that's good enough for me.
Yep.
And then of course, um, I don't find in the evenings working on my laptop and responding back to clients is hard work. To me, it's just natural. So even though my body's relaxing and my mind is kind of going crazy, I don't mind that. So I do find that, sitting by the pool and enjoying a little bit R&R, that definitely helps. But other than that,
You just
we
love
just keep
you love what you
going.
do. And I think that,
I
yeah,
do, yeah.
and a couple, I think, but that's the key though. Like you take a couple of vacations, and I think even when you love what you do, if you did it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365, and you never took a break, that's kind of where we do find ourselves burned out because you
Yeah,
can't give from an empty cup. But at the same time, that's where you find that passion and you do it authentically. And I think we talk about that a lot with people. Like you want to just make sure you are in it. So just like you love creating the experiences for people.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at this point in my life, I don't have to do the two careers because I've kind of reached to the point where I've done well. But I don't want to give it up because I love it so much.
I love
So,
that. That's the dream.
yeah,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think so many of us are like that, where there's people that they're like super excited about retiring and that's what the plan is. And I think, I mean, maybe working a different schedule when I'm at that point, but I
yeah,
don't know that I would want to not do it because helping people is amazing. So you're
right,
like,
right.
what do you
Yeah,
do?
yeah,
Um, this is so good. So I do know that you have other meetings today. So
yeah,
the last thing I'll say is so we have sales at hrhlondonontario.com
correct.
if someone's interested in booking a smaller than 20-person space. And then for the restaurants and the hotel, are you thinking the 1st of April, 15th? When should people start keeping an eye out?
So our target month to open is really in April. So
Okay.
we will be on open tables. So that just keep, follow
I
us on.
love Open Table.
Yes, I do too. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on LinkedIn. We'll have more information on exact dates and when we'll be able to take
Perfect.
reservations. So
Perfect.
that part is good. But going back to, it's not just groups of 20 and less. So call
Okay.
me if you have anything,
Even
weddings,
the bigger ones. Okay.
because we are working and partnering with Kellogg's that does up to 1,000 people. And
Amazing.
then, of course, we could do, like I said, buyouts of restaurants and so forth. So, yeah, just if you have any questions, if you want to
So
come on
good.
a tour, let me know. And then for those real estate professionals, we can absolutely accommodate your requests. And we will be offering a real estate, special discount offer for anybody that brings business. So we're just,
Amazing.
be patient with us. It's coming and it will
Oh,
come soon, but it's finally here, like April.
we've been looking at the sign for like years. So we're so excited.
I
So
agree.
excited. Lena, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been fantastic.
My pleasure. It's so nice to be able to connect with you again, and I look forward
Abs-
to welcoming everybody and you especially. I know
Oh,
that
so
you're gonna
much.
be, oh my goodness, you're gonna love it. I can't wait to show it to you when we're finally done.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. And everyone, if you do want to reach out to Lena, she's more than happy to chat real estate. She's more than happy to chat hard rock. And we will see you all on our next episode. Bye, everyone.